As the Bitcoin bulls continue to climb out of the trenches, the question now becomes, may there be a hidden, potentially bullish pattern forming here in the chart? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the action we're seeing here inside the chart right now. After a peak around the $11,000 region, Bitcoin has seen a stark and drastic decline. But ever since, it's found a bit of support here. And right now, I want to examine the macro trend here. This entire region that we've been trading in for quite some time right now, because my friends, although there is some overwhelmingly bearish factors going on here, I believe right now the tides may begin to have turned here, or rather are beginning to turn right now. So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right, so we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and speculative hypotheses on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. That being said, I just want to preface what we're going to do here, and that is, one, I'm going to look at this micro move right here, right now, and then I want to examine the macro patterns here, namely this entire move here, this pennant formation I see here now. And I also want to go in and look at some other patterns that I believe are forming inside of here as well. Let's get this crypto. Now we'll begin here on the 4-hour time frame with our micro move. So as I was explaining in the introduction there, we found our swing high here roughly around 11,000. If you guys are subscribed here or you're in my VIP, you would know I wound up shorting this move, literally caught the absolute top. I mean, it doesn't work that way every time, ladies and gentlemen, but this time Don Carbonaccio caught the top there. It wound up actually being a rising wedge formation that we fell out of. We found confluence around this 0.5 Fibonacci. We saw overextensions here. The RSIs were not looking good to me, etc., etc. We were still on our lower high trajectory, and that for me was quite an easy decision to short anywhere within this range. As you can see, I had my ladder set up with shorts all within this region, and I've since now closed my short position from 10,953. I took my profits down low here in the trend. You can see I took my profits up 10,267, 10,468, and I'm now looking for a new trade right now. Let's get this crypto. So now that you know where I'm at here, we've since found some nice support, and this, my friends, is inherently looking fine to me here from a bullish perspective, because we did not go to a new lower low, right? We formed a double bottom here, then a higher low, and now, for the time being at least, another higher low, which is nice. You want to see an upward sloping trajectory like this. The area that we're coming up on right now, though, where we are finding a bit of resistance at the time of recording here, around 10,400, this is where it starts to get interesting from a bearish perspective. I want to flip on the moving average here, okay? This is the 200 moving average here, this teal line on the 4-hour time frame. This has been a very key moving average all along the way, acting as critical supports all along the way, then switching to resistance several times, and now we are coming up on this region here yet again. And we can just see here from the last move alone, this whole swing, it acted as resistance twice, broke through, acted as support, then fell through. So for right now, to see that this again is looking like a tentative resistance point is very interesting. Just something to keep on your radar. Also, we can see here in confluence with the extensions here, the Fibonacci extensions of this move here, we can see that right now we are also getting that rejection just under the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement, the Fibonacci extension. And if we actually want to take a fib here as well and move it just from this move that we had our peak at to the bottom here, we can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually finding resistance right at the golden extension, the 0.618 fib. Let's get this crypto. I'm going to remove this though, it's too cluttered, okay? So we can see that there is a confluence right there, right where everything is, the 0.382, the 0.618, that 4-hour 200 moving average. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we can see here that what we are tentatively looking to create, if the bears are going to stay in control, is a lower high trajectory on the RSI there as well. Let's get this crypto. But now let's look at this from a bullish perspective, okay? And you know, we can begin right here on the RSI, right? I just showed you that right now we still are tentatively looking to stick in lower highs. But on the contrary, my friends, we still are putting in higher lows. I keep getting tongue-tied so many times with these higher lows and lower highs, etc., etc. But you can see here the higher lows right now are still intact, which is inherently bullish per classical technical analysis theory. So if we look at it from this perspective here, well, we've maintained this here, right? We've maintained the fact that we had our double bottom and we're upward sloping. I want to look now at a fresh chart here. Let's go over. I have this charted, I believe, right here. Yes. Okay. So let's examine what's gone on here now. We're going to go out to the, we'll stay here on the 4 hours, fine. Okay. And my friends, what I want you to notice here is that we appear to be in several pennants, right? The pennant I had on the other chart was drawn from the absolute top here, more so like this, right? Which could be a descending triangle, right? But for the time being, and why I switched over to this chart, is because I want to focus on these two other formations here that are not the descending triangle, right? These are different pennants within the same structure, and I want to show you the merit for all of them because I believe we are at a very critical point in the trend right now. Okay, so as I showed you all here, we have our two double bottoms, the neutral zone here where we did not go lower. This low here wound up being relatively the same as the prior, and then after this we've had a series now of two higher lows, one after the other. And this is coming off of a series of lower lows here, right? And this is now forming this cup formation here, this rounding bottom, and sticking us into these two pennants here, right? I have one resistance line drawn here and another separate one drawn here. So my friends, the way I'm looking at this right now is that if these bottoms here do continue to remain on a higher low trajectory, it's very possible that we could wind up squeezing up into this zone here like this, and forming somewhat of a flag here like this, which all of a sudden for me wouldn't necessarily have to be the most bearish looking thing in the world anymore, especially if we wind up taking out this high right here around 11,000. Now, keep in mind, Bitcoin has not yet made a new higher high, right? We'd have to get above 11,000 here to create a higher high. And at this point in time, this may also lead us to test the top of this pennant, put in another higher low, and then tentatively look to break out to the upside. I see that this is a possibility. Right now, what we have to keep in mind, though, is that if that does not happen and Bitcoin sticks in a new lower low, what we have to understand here is that this could still be one giant descending triangle pattern formation, right? With a flat line of support along the bottom here. And as we should all know by now, these are historically, per classical technical analysis theory, bearish patterns, right? And the famous one that I always show, ladies and gentlemen, right here on Bitcoin in the bear market of 2018, just a series of lower highs with a flat base of support around the bottom that then gave way and wound up leading to a capitulation. Let's get this crypto. So right now, you know, the way that this chart is very easy to look at this only from a bearish perspective. I know for the Moon Boys, never. Oh, it could never be bearish, Kirby. You just don't understand. All right, James, you know, maybe you need to see a psychiatrist or something, my friend. Take care of that lunar mind syndrome of yours. But the fact of the matter is here is that although this this has been a classic bearish formation of lower highs, right? Over and over again. Right now, I am starting to see this rounding bottom here with a neutral double bottom formed here where the stars are. And now a series of higher lows, and I see two pennants here. I mean, I for the time being, ladies and gentlemen, this one really doesn't mean too much to me here. I'm just keeping it here for now, as we could be at the squeezing point right now, but that doesn't really look that valid to me. I'm actually going to remove this for now. My focus here would be on this region, this whole pennant that I have drawn here, and it could wind up turning into a bull flag, right? More so than a bearish descending triangle. You know, and the way I need to explain this, guys, is that right here, when you see that move, right, I would draw a better trend line, but just for the sake of this right now, when you have a series of lower highs after lower highs, right, after a blow off top on a parabolic move and a flat line of support along the bottom, that is, you know, classically bearish. I mean, there's no way to look at that and say, it's so bullish, Kirby, it's so bullish. But now, if the bottom line is not continuing to just be a flat line of support here, but is now beginning to have an upward slope to it and maintain these higher lows here, if we can stick in a higher high now for the first time above 11,000, you must understand that the trend has, the structure has begun to change, right? There's a difference, right? If this just continued the way it was with a flat bottom and no creation of higher highs, that structure, in my opinion, remains bearish. But now, if we are starting to form a rounding bottom here, and we actually put in a higher high above 11,000, you must understand that things have changed here, right? The reason I'm trying to explain it this way, ladies and gentlemen, to really just hammer it home for you, is that this week, this has been like, for me, ladies and gentlemen, the week of the peanut brains. I don't know where all these people have come from, but it's like Moon Boy mania, ladies and gentlemen, where it's like these people just popped out of nowhere, poofed out of thin air, and now all of a sudden, everybody has no idea how to trade, and all they want to do is, Kirby, you. The last time that I saw this was back in this range, right here. 68 days of stagnation before capitulation, okay? This was where peanut brain mania was going wild in here, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing was happening, right? And this causes these degenerates to go off the edge, ladies and gentlemen. They go off the deep end. They can't have 60 days of no action, right? They're sitting here itching, scratching their neck, living that life of peril and squalor, right? With Corey, the crypto crackhead. They can't have 68 days of no action. Kirby, you. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we dropped off a cliff. And the thing is, right now, I see that this point in time, where we're essentially looking to create the next large move in the market, either a huge, gigantic bull flag to the upside to tentatively look to retest our all-time highs, or a large descending triangle breakdown, potentially back into bear market territory. This reminds me a lot of this area, ladies and gentlemen, where, I mean, just to be frank, a lot of unexperienced, uneducated people are very emotional because they've lost a lot of money, or they have way too much invested that they shouldn't have, that their emotions completely overtake logic. This is what I'm noticing here in the market, and this is generally the type of psychological analysis that I see here before we have a large market movement. So don't think that I'm just saying that to go on a rant. The reason I'm stating that is because you see what happened here after that, right? A large 50% move to the downside. Now, this time, it doesn't mean that it has to go to the downside. It could. But what I'm stating here is that from my experience in this market, is that when you have this many emotional people all at once that really have no idea what they're talking about, they have no idea how to trade, they're essentially just degenerate gamblers, thinking that they should voice their opinions. The thing here, ladies and gentlemen, is that to me is indicative that a large, heinous market movement is looming here in the shadows. So I'm preparing right now for a large market movement. Doesn't have to be, today or tomorrow. But the thing is that look at where we are. How much time is left if this pennant is going to play out? My friends, it doesn't seem like that much left to me. So right now, I've got the battle helmet on, the mud boots and the trench coat, and I'm ready to get this crypto. Shout out to everybody in my VIP. You guys know I plan for every scenario. If we go up, I plan a trade to the upside. If we go down, I plan to trade to the downside. And the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, is that I keep you updated around the clock in VIP with every single trade I make, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Right? If I'm trading, I'm posting it for you to the absolute exact second that I'm making my trades. And you can see these are all my VIP alerts here. As I've stated, I just had a beautiful, wonderful trade that I've closed my position on now, kept my VIPs updated with my trade there all along the way, and I'm getting ready to make a new entry very, very soon here. So if you want to see how I'm trading in real time and how I'm planning to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can, then I will see you in VIP, my friends. Shout out to my VIPs and shout out to all of my new future VIPs joining VIP right now after this video. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. Now let's look here as well. We'll go to the weekly. I want to take a look at the longer term here, okay? So obviously, guys, we do have our double bottom there, and we are still looking right now like we could be on a tentatively, maybe the beginning stages of a bullish turnaround. But right now, guys, we still appear on the weekly time frame to just be in a very bearish structure. And when you actually look at it from this angle, right? Actually, let's go to the BLX. I want to have a cleaner version of this. When you look at this from a zoomed out perspective, to me, it still would not be out of the ordinary at all to potentially fall all the way back down into this green box region here. You could see I have the question mark, right? And this whole area, ladies and gentlemen, it would fill the CME futures gap. It would bring us down into this pocket here, right? The little golden pocket, you know, that 618 Fibonacci level right around here. Tons of historic price action in here to potentially find some support at. I'm not ruling this out of the equation at all, guys, because here on the weekly time frame, the RSI does not look great, right? You see lower high, lower high, lower high, right? Low, lower low, lower low. That's a classic bearish channel. You see that, right, ladies and gentlemen? Classic. You know, right now, maybe this does become a falling wedge of sorts, right? That rips us back up. But right now, the chart on the weekly time frame doesn't look that great to me. Neither on the 1 day. Right now, you could see here, we are just teetering on this RSI on the 1 day. If this line breaks, ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't surprise me at all to potentially test down into oversold conditions like we did back here. Let's get this crypto. So right now, the daily and the weekly are not looking as promising to me, more so as the 4-hour, more so as that macro, potentially bullish scenario I pointed out, ladies and gentlemen, right? It's all about that rounding bottom. If we fail to keep this trajectory, right? If we fall to a new lower low, which would be below 9,800, right? If we fall below 9,800, then it becomes that 9,500. If we fall below 9,500, to me, ladies and gentlemen, this is becoming the spot where maybe we could see some capitulation deep down into the crypto abyss, because as I've pointed out time and time again for you all here on these streams, if we go back now, this is where I have my descending triangle set up, right? This area here, the green box here of support, we've tested this so many times now, ladies and gentlemen, that with the downward sloping trajectory along the top and this many touch points along the bottom, it would not surprise me at all to see this thing break through if we test to new lower lows right here, right now, as it would negate the rounding cup formation. It would negate the bullish thesis bouncing off this bottom here. And especially, guys, maybe we get a fake out, right? Maybe we go up to a new high. Kirby, it's a new high. Get wrecked, get wrecked. And then we respect the trend line here and go down, right? You have to keep in mind that this trend line, we could get a little fake out here, ladies and gentlemen. We could get a fake out, okay? There's a lot to keep on your radar right now. This is going to be a very critical time here for all traders inside this market. Look at the irrationality here, ladies and gentlemen, the extreme fear on the crypto fear and greed index. We were at a 5 yesterday. Today we are at a 33. Okay, we are still creating lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. Savage, okay? the Bitcoin Google Trends data continuing to trend downward, okay? We are now flirting with potentially going back to pre-parabolic move levels of what we saw back in March and April. We are only 20 points away from this now. We are currently, ladies and gentlemen, let's see, 53% decline off the top there of June 23rd, where we hit our peak up here, okay? So, my friends, the whole thing right now is that the trend is in a very critical spot. You have to be aware of the scenarios that we are in right now, because the trend, in my opinion, is ready for a large break. As I've stated, the peanut brains, the degenerate gamblers, the losing traders who hold on to poop coins, 90% down. Oh, Kirby, but this technology, it's just gonna change the world. You'll see. Yeah, you know what I see, James? You looking at your portfolio down 95% because you bought the top and hodled like a degenerate. I'm not here to be a degenerate hodler, my friends. I'm here to trade swing by swing, trade by trade, and look to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. And my friends, as I've stated, as I navigate these choppy waters here, I'm going to be keeping you all updated exclusively in VIP with every single trade I make, to the exact second that I take my trades, make my entries, plot my strategies. You guys can see here, I post like this, where I post my strategy. I was laddering shorts, right? So the move did not happen yet. I stated, if we move up into this territory, I'm looking to get my orders filled anywhere within this region. Then when we got into that region, I posted that my short was opened. And then I moved my stop losses, kept all my VIPs updated, and wound up taking my profits, crushing it like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. So my friends, right now, I hope you see that we are in the critical zone here. And every day, every hour that passes is going to get even more important, in my opinion, as this trend is coming to an absolute point of fruition. Let's get this crypto. So guys, I will see you all in VIP. I'm ready to get aggressive here. I'm hoping that the move occurs very soon, as what I'm seeing here right now is that with the amount of pent-up emotion from the degenerates, that this move has the potential to be absolutely explosive, leading to potentially life-changing trading opportunities for those that are on the correct side of the trade. Let's get this crypto. So guys, prepare yourselves for absolute volatility here. I think the move is going to be insane. If you could one last time, moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. The question I have for you to end this here is, are you going to be the one that crushes this market, or are you going to be the one that gets crushed? The choice is yours. I will see you in VIP right now. I will keep you all updated with my trades to the exact second in VIP. I will see you all in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. And until next time, my friends, the Don has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.